Well, hello my friends, this is Gladys from Gladys Garden in Heart of a Gypsy. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks also for all the wonderful comments that you guys left either on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook, telling me how much you like the video for the beads to make your charms. Thank you, but I really am not a beader, so I don't think I do that great of a job anyways, but I just know enough to get in trouble, if you know what I mean. And but I do love it. And I know some of you were telling me that you still have troubles trying to do the loop in order to, hang your stuff from and things of that nature. So I thought we could recap that a little bit. And I also want to show you another quick technique of for charms. This one is utilizing this little head pins that you see here that I talked to you about last night or yesterday, and just using plain aluminum wire, which is very inexpensive, and you can find it. Walmart always carries it in the jewelry department, and the coil will cost you about $1, so it really is not a big of an issue. So in order to create this type of wrapping that you see here, I use a 6-inch piece, and I'll bring that out. 6-inch piece of wire, very, very easily. And this one has a lot of little loops, so that's why I thought, this would be a good way of just kind of recapping that and see if we can, maybe I can do this in a slower manner or however. So you're going to need your nose needle round nose pliers. Okay, that's a tongue twister right there. Anyhow, so the longer the ones, the better. I have two. One is a little shorter than the other one. I do like this longer one. Just seems like I have more control over it. Okay, so what we're going to do is just do loops so you guys can get used to it. It really is easy. I took a class with Jen Cushman. She's a famous altar jewelry maker. She's an amazing lady, my friend, and she's written a couple of books already, and she's out there. I've worked in her studio with her, and it's just it's a privilege to have worked with her. And she's the one that taught me, okay? So because I didn't know any wiring before that. And excuse me. Oh, I need something to drink. Excuse me. Emma, can you give me my soda right there? Or my juice? Give me just a second. I need to get my juice. Man, just got dried. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I talked to you about making it like the the Cancer logo that goes like that. It's quite easy to do, okay? So, and then this wire, even though this is about, I think this is about 18 gauge, it's quite thick, but being aluminum, it's very moldable. So that's what we want. So it's a good thing that if you start with something like this, because it's very moldable, or else you can start with something that is very thin, like this one, but it is moldable because of its thin, being so thin. Which is, this one is a 24 gauge. Okay, so I always start with my tweezers, holding my tweezers, and then instead of going like this, I'm going to twist my arm, okay? So it's kind of an uncomfortable position. You got to go there, and then put your, grab the tip of your wire and just bend it back as much as you can. That is when you have, and see there, you can see the loop right there. Yeah. So it's quite easy to do that. I'm going to do the other one too. So again, you hold your pliers in this position, and I could just start like this. This is very comfortable. And could I start? Yes, I could, but you don't have a lot to go. That's why, oops, let me put this away. That's why you have to kind of put your hand in that uncomfortable position, because that gives you extra turning point or extra turning distance. So then you go back, and so you go. You see that little loop right there? It's a perfect little loop, okay? Now from here, if we were just making your little charms, obviously that would go as far as you would needed. But I am going to do something else. Okay, from here, knowing that I have a wire that is very moldable, I like this. So I already did this little loop. I am just going to go grab this with one hand. I'm going to grab the rest of my wire, and with this one I am going to put that loop in between my thumb and my index, and just press, just hold on in a flat position and roll. And when you hold in a flat position, you do this. It's very easy to do. This little coil like right there. So see how nice it is? Now on the other one you would do the same thing. You do the curl with your pliers, and then you grab and you start turning. And sometimes, and if it gives you trouble, like if it starts going like that, like a little too big in the end, just hold them inside and then push it in, and look, see, it kind of fixes itself. And there we go. Curl, 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 and you end up with an S. Now I know we can put this anywhere in our scraps or in our projects as a decoration. I think it's lovely. I do a lot of this ones. Now just by itself, if this was a very heavy-duty wire that it wouldn't unravel on its own with pressure, you can just use it as both of them as hooks. But this is obviously not a wire that I would use for something like that. It has to stand on its own with no pressure to stay in the same shape. But look what I'm going to do. In order to create this this is a double one. Let me show you the other ones. That's how I came about to that. Okay, this wire wrapped in here and over here. I didn't really do it there, and I didn't go through the, this wire did not go through the bead, but this head pin did. Now I'm going to show you how you can do that. Very easy. So you have your little S already. Now let's do this oval bead that we have here. It's like a little barrel, but it's in the oval position. But you can use a any bead really. I'm gonna get this one is a little bigger. This one right here. Alright, so I am going to put my pin inside the smallest hook, which is the middle part. Then I'm going to put it in the perforated area of my bead, and then I'm going to flatten the other side down, and this one too, so it'll almost it'll start shaping to the bead itself. Okay, and you want to just pull and pull. And obviously this is probably not big enough for this bead, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep stretching. And now look what I'm going to do. I am going just to bend this a little bit down, so I am able to retract my needle and put it through the little hole, and voila. And so there you have it. Now that's still a little loose right there, obviously, because we still have to do the top stuff area here, the extra beads and spacers, whatever. But don't worry about that yet. You will start to getting it tighter as soon as we decide what we're going to put up there. So I'm going to choose this little barrel right here as a spacer, because this is a charm that doesn't need to have this whole thing, which is about maybe ½ an inch of wire left from the needle, from my head pin, I'm sorry. That's too big to use it as a loop, for a closure, so you can hang your jump ring from it. So I could still put another little thing to it. So let me see. I think I might want to do one of these spacers. I want to have the little rhinestones on the side, and that just adds a little extra oomph to my project, and it keeps me, or it takes me right where I want to be. It's hard for you to see this. Let's see, right there. So you can see how much I have left over on my wire, or part of the head pin. Now I'm going to grab again. I always go to that uncomfortable position. It's the position will go to that point and then no more. So you go like this, and grab, and you want to leave about maybe 1/8 of an inch on top. See there, you can see it right there. Okay, and then you're going to start curl until that thing touches the wire, the bottom wire. And at this point it's kind of funky. It doesn't, it's curl enough that I can put something through it, but it's too open still, it's too big. So what I'm going to do, and what I like to do, is put that wire that we curled inside the little barrel. I'm going to try to curl it inside, just enough for me to feel like, yeah, it's tight enough. And if you feel like, no, that's just too long, like I'm feeling like that's maybe a little too long, I am going to trim this. Be careful, use your eye protective gear for this, because those suckers just bounced everywhere and they can really get you. Okay, so again, you're going to get those pliers and go into that kind of an uncomfortable position for your wrist. And there you have it. See? There's your little loop right there. So it's just go there and bring it all back. It is just a weird position for your wrist, but then you'll know that you're there, you know. I'm gonna curl this just a tiny bit more because I feel like it needed to be a little tighter. And there you have it, my dears. Look how easy that was. Let me see if I can put it over this black paper. I think that's very lovely. And you didn't really have to fuss too much, you know, with that stone and for this wire to stay there. And it looks, I think it looks beautiful. Okay. And that's how I created this two right here. And let me bring them so that you can see the wire across them. There they are. Oops. Right there. Isn't that nice? Now, I do have this one that I did a triple. And it's the same amount of wire. Okay, so I just use a different type of head pin. I'll show that to you in a minute. I'll show you all the ones I have here, and that way you kind of have an idea. Here. Oops, I'm not getting the one I need. Okay, there it is. So, let's see. These are all the little pins that you can buy to make your life a little easier if you want to, you know, just work with those and don't put anything on the bottom and don't fuss. That's okay. But again, I just show you a way that you can make your own. If you're out of these pins, you know. But some of these pins are sold with these things on the bottom. They're really cool, like this little kind of a vintage heart to it. This is almost like a little arrow there, and the other ones have the regular head pins, you know, in there. So those are the ones I use. So for this one I use that vintage heart, and I started the same way, but this bead is substantially more, or substantially less in size, is much smaller than this one. I'm sorry, this one that we made, you and I, together. So I was able to take the wire a little further, and I thought, well, why can't I just put another bead to it? And that's what you did, or I did. And as soon as you got them to this place, you just twist and twist and twist until the wire becomes kind of tight in there, but it gives you enough to go across that bead, and also to have some on top in here. And I put that extra little barrel there, and that's it. There's your bead. You know, this is kind of a it's like a triple loops, or I guess you can, oh, triple wiring, because there's wiring here, and then over here too. So, well, I hope that helped, my dears. This wasn't a big video. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit more. And I think I'm going to put this one together with the other video that I had, just because, you know, this is so small. Or not, I'm not even sure yet, but go back and recheck it every time, and you know, pause it, try to make it, and redo it again, and you'll get really good at it. It's just really simple. So, well, I hope you liked that little tip, and I just thought I'd give you that. So you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.